Okay, so let's just go ahead around the table and the table and introduce yourself and introduce your character. Even though I know who you all are, but Sam, let's go ahead and start with you.
Okay, I'm Sam. Um, let's see. Well, I have my guy Roland. He's a human fighter, and I don't really know what to say about him because he's very unformed in my brain as of now. So he's got some armor and a helmet, and that's about all I know about him, honestly, right now.
No, that's hey, that's all you really need to know. Robbie.
Okay, I have Sheshush the Lustrous, who is an elf magic user. I actually kind of went searching around a little bit for some type of inspirational image and kind of came up with it seemed like a kind of desert environment that we are in, a dry desert environment. So I have a kind of thin, slight uh, image of this elf who I kind of imagine to be. Um, I don't know that we normally think of elves in the desert, but I kind of imagine him to be kind of from the area, and so he's appropriately garbed in kind of lightweight, flowing clothes with kind of preparing for the dust storms. Has you know material that he can kind of put up over his face. And yeah, so I guess this, Sean, you had sent a little bit about the kind of environment. So I just kind of imagined him to be somebody who was traveling but was not a complete outsider to this environment. He's not some type of elf from the woods that is like completely out of place. I think that Sheshush is an elf that kind of knows this type of terrain, at least, even if he hasn't been to these areas that we'll be to. He at least kind of knows the terrain.
So he's probably tied to the like an oasis at some point. Kind of like a RuneQuest elf almost tied to their environment. I like that. That's good. I like that. John.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm John. So my guy is Bartle. He is a human thief, and he is a weakling, a coward, and he's not very bright. Um, but he's very quick on his feet, and he's pretty hardy. And he is out. I think, and I'm completely now just riffing off Robbie, and just this is not something I thought about beforehand, but I think he actually is kind of the opposite, in the sense that, like, he's from the city. I'm not really sure how he ended up where he is now, but it probably wasn't by making good decisions. And he's not used to the desert environment. He's probably been complaining about it. Getting sand stuck in his, all of everywhere. Digging it out of his ears. Kind of constantly. It's getting in his boots. He's not wearing the most appropriate clothing for the desert. Um, and he's probably getting on everyone's nerves by complaining about it a lot. And he doesn't realize that he is. He thinks like, I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's charming, or maybe he thinks you guys all agree with him. He doesn't. He just doesn't pick up on the cues that, like, stop talking about it. That's Bartle.
All right. I'm Sean. I'm the dungeon master or game master. Uh, and so I just want to go over a couple things before we start. Technically, since we are here during the OSR thing, exploring OSR space, I guess is maybe the best way to put it. Um, I found something that sort of Matt Finch put together. Yeah, Matthew Finch. Um, basically 4 points, and these are not things that we have to institute and play. These are just things to keep in mind as we play that we might want to comment on or think about. And that is because Blueholme, the system we're using, is definitely an OSR game. It deliberately says that it is. So rulings and not rules, which is a little strange and contradictory to me, but rulings, not rules. And I'll get to that in a minute. Player skill, not character abilities. Heroic, not super heroic. That's kind of easy. And to forget game balance. And trust me, the Lost City is out to kill you if it can. So just a reminder, and this is something I want to go over with everybody. This game is, especially this particular adventure, is very deadly. You hit 0, there's no leeway. You are a goner. If you fail a particular save, which it's easy to do, you're gone. Just how deadly that might be is we'll find out. When I've played or run before, yes, there have been character deaths, but most of the time, most of the core group survives, so it's really not an issue. But if we find ourselves, when by next time when Lara's able to play, you guys are all on your second characters. What we might do, and we can discuss this, but what we might do is say this: you fail a save, or you go down in combat to 0, you're out. You've been disabled. And then maybe give a 50-50 chance that you pull through to recover from that particular thing. There are certain, obviously, death traps which you just won't be able to recover from. If you fall 50 feet, I can't help you. If you fall into a spiked pit trap, and you're probably not going to make it back. But other spaces, other situations, we'll see how it goes, and we may say, okay, we'll give characters who fail save or go down a certain percentage to survive. But we'll see how it goes. Don't forget that you gain XP through gaining treasure in this game, and it's per gold piece. So if the game gives you 1,000 copper pieces, we'll just have to do the math. But that's one way, and in a lot of ways, the primary way you get your big chunks of experience points. Especially like way later in the adventure. Spoiler alert. They were not shy about treasure. You also get it for overcoming obstacles and monsters. A great example that we had the other day when we were playing the one-shot is that we overcame several encounters by role-playing, by just thinking about it, by using logic. And I guess this is where player skill comes in. There's no problem to rely on logical situations. If you come upon a hungry wolf, you don't need to be a ranger, of course there isn't any. You don't have to have any particular skill. You might think, well, if I give the hungry wolf a piece of meat, he might just go away. And that might work. So that's fine. And the rules say I can give out XP at other times. And I think at least begin with what I'll do is smart play and taking chances. So if you're a little wounded and you like, let's go ahead and push on. Let's push on to the next location. Like, okay, I'm gonna give these folks a little bit of extra XP because they are taking a chance. By the same token, if you get done with a fight or a situation and you're all at 1 hit point, you say, look, we really need to rest here. We don't need to take any more chances. I might reward you some XP for playing smart. So that's sort of that nebulous bit. And as a rule, as far as the rules go, which is where the rulings, not rules, kind of always confuse me with OSR. But if something's unclear and we can't find an answer for it, although the Blueholme rules are not that abstract, so we should be able to find the answer. But if we can't find an answer, I'll just rule it, and then we can revisit later on. And if we change our minds, we change our minds. Anybody have any questions or thoughts? And that might be the signal for you to rethink a decision. If I reach for the coffee and I'm like, okay, you're like, oh, maybe we should think about that. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So, I will be making a slight change to the box text here. It says you've been in the desert for 2 days without water, but in most deserts, after about 24 hours without water, you'd all be half blind and in pretty bad shape. So you've been without water for a day. You headed east the same way the caravan was headed before the storm. A day passed. Your mounts died. There's your mule. Your mounts died, and you soon drank the water. The end of the desert was not in sight. The day after you ran out of water, you stumbled upon a number of stone blocks sticking out of a sand dune. Investigation showed that the sand covered the remains of a tall stone wall. On the other side of the stone wall was a ruined city. The stone blocks of the city had toppled and cracked with the passing of time. Sand had covered most of the buildings. The stones that remained uncovered had been scorched smooth by the blowing sands. In the center of the city towered a step pyramid. It had 5 step-like tiers, each about 20 feet high. The bottommost tier was almost completely covered with sand. On the top of the highest tier were 3 30-foot-tall statues. The statue on the left was of a strong, bearded man holding a balance in one hand and a lightning bolt in the other. The middle statue was of a winged child with 2 snakes twined about its body. The child held a wand in one hand and a handful of coins in the other. The statue on the right was of a beautiful woman. In her hands, she held a sheath of wheat and a sword. On the south side of the pyramid, a ramp of stairs led from the ground to the top of the highest tier. A quick search of the ruins revealed no source of food or water, so you decided to climb the pyramid. In the side of the ramp, level with the top of the tier, you found a secret door. Give me a second. There's a picture I can show you. While I'm getting the image, are there any questions that you have? You can think of the step pyramid as more like a ziggurat from the Sumerian culture, as opposed to, say, the step pyramid in Mesoamerica.
Would we have recognized any of these figures depicted in the statues?
You might have seen some of them before, so go ahead and just roll a d6. On a 1, I'll give you some information about that.
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
You've seen the images before around the desert area on the occasional oasis, or you'll find someone trading like a ceramic or pottery, piece of pottery, one of these. But nothing comes to mind. You are sure that it belonged to the culture that lived here before, when it wasn't a desert, but that was a very long time ago. I'm going to go ahead. Yeah. Oh no, something I'm disorganized. Oh, you know what? That's all good. I'm going to upload it in our chat area. Okay, there you go. There is a dead hobgoblin in a door.
How I don't want to get too close, but how dead does he look, or how long dead?
It looks like it's been dead for about a day. The blood around it is dried for sure. It has a large crossbow bolt sunk deep in its chest. And actually, I'll go ahead and read it. The slab of stone that hid the secret entrance to the pyramid is not a secret anymore. Is now held open by the dead body of a hobgoblin. The body has a large crossbow bolt sunk into deep in its chest, and the hobgoblin has been dead for several weeks.
I think Roland kind of goes up to the hobgoblin and, in a little bit of desperation for water, maybe tries to roll it over and look for a water skin, even though the water would have probably long evaporated.
It looks like its water skin has been removed.
Okay.
So it doesn't have any food or water on it, or any treasure belt. It doesn't have any personal accoutrements. Its weapons are missing as well. Its ragged leather armor is still there, but everything else is gone. But when you do get up there, you see
And this is on the top tier of the ziggurat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes, this is the top tier of the ziggurat. So I don't know if you can see that.
I can see this. Yeah.
And so here's the dead body. Here's the door, and here's the hallway. So, if that's if that's filling anybody's connection, let me know.
No, it's pretty good. Okay, I think Roland is. Yeah, I think he wants to get out of the hot sun. So if the other people are kind of being cautious, he's trying to push inside and just basically sitting down next to this corpse to be in the shade for a second. And then he's going to kind of roughly pull the crossbow bolt out of the hobgoblin and kind of inspect it to see, like, is it some crude arrow, or is it some finely made implement?
It is definitely not a crude instrument. It isn't necessarily of a design that you'd recognize.
Okay.
But it's not crudely made. Like, someone crafted this who knew what they were doing.
And there's not any other. We don't see other bolts laying around or blood around this area.
No. Nope. You do not see any bolts or blood.
Well, Roland, I agree. The shade looks good. The shade and um, I mean, sitting out here baking without water does not seem wise.
Maybe we can get
Yeah.
away from all the sand too.
Yeah, I think Roland's like, come on, maybe sometimes water, pools in places like this. This is pretty old. There might be some. I'd even drink cave water at this point.
And the body is blocking the door from shutting all the way, right? He's kind of wedged in the door. Well, I think we just maybe leave him wedged there. I mean, at least keeps the door open if we need to find our way back out.
I think I have a lantern, so I guess I would light that up. Pull that out and yeah, I mean, yeah, so I have a shield and a sword, so I guess the shield and the sword sword must be sheathed and the shield must be on my back or something like that. And Roland's just got the lantern up and is kind of just looking around, and I think he's you know, I want to see if there's some little puddles in here or just something. I mean, you said this body's been dead for a bit. Right? Did you say a week or did you say a day? I don't remember now.
It's been about a day.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's kind of scarier. But I think he's gonna start walking in cautiously and kind of peering around and beckoning, like, "Come on, let's try not to let's get some water if possible."
Whoever gave this fellow a welcome probably has some water, so I might be able to see if we can come to some arrangement with them.
Bartle, are you going inside as well?
Yeah, he's gonna go inside, and I do. He's gonna want to check out like again, not to like move the hobgoblin from wedging the door, but to kind of check out to see if there is any kind of mechanism on the door that would kind of make it kind of swing shut or close or lock behind them.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me if you would.
5.
You don't see any, but you think maybe that's the case. Because the door is not loose. It's not loose and swinging or anything like that. It feels like it's pressing up against the body of the hobgoblin. So you don't find any mechanism, but you do suspect there is one.
I will. I will. I don't know if I want to do that. I guess I'll take a moment as we're to kind of put one of my iron spikes in under the door to kind of as like extra little extra insurance of keeping it wedged open.
Okay. As a bit of a meta, that will definitely allow the other members of your party, the potentially one or more other members of your group, who have not made it to the step period, who are lost in the desert at the moment, to join you later on.
Oh, nice. Great.
So yeah, if someone passes in the early stages, one of the new people will wander in. In other parts, they may have already been here before you. So.
And the lantern, its radius of light is roughly, is it 30 feet? And I, as an elf, I can see 60 feet.
Right. So if you go around the corner.
Yeah, what I was thinking is that while they're doing that, I might kind of go, peer around the corner to see, what I'm able to see with my dark vision.
Oh yeah, and I think Roland's right there with you because he's kind of like not really inspecting much. He's in the quest for water, the desperate quest for water.
Okay. As let's see here. As you begin to walk in, Shishush notices about right here. About right here, there's a trap mechanism. You can look into the wall, and you see that there was a crossbow in the wall. Basically, it's impossible to get out unless you were to sort of break the wall a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Bartle notices this as well. So you're both like, oh, okay, so that's where the crossbow bolt came out. And the trap has not been reset yet. But that's definitely what killed the hobgoblin.
And he was there right by the door, so it's either the door itself or some type of plate. Plate mechanism that's, what does Sheshush know, though? I'm not a thief.
Well, right. You noticed it because it was a bit of a hidden thing.
Correct, yeah.
And elves are very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Bartle noticed it because he's always suspicious and looking for that.
Are you
Okay.
guys like calling out that there was, talking about this trap? Because I think I'm picturing Roland kind of. I think I see a door there that's around the other side of the hall, and I think Roland's just kind of marching
Mm-hmm.
towards that, just like let me get deeper in here.
Yeah. I mean, if I look at the floor, like, can I tell? I'm kind of curious as to whether the hobgoblin was running from the inside to get out, or whether he was like on the outside coming in. Can I see any? If I look down on the floor, do I see any? Would I be able to determine whether?
On the floor itself,
Yeah.
It looked like the hobgoblin had just come through the door, so
Mm-hmm.
he had not made it in any further in.
Mm-hmm.
Whether his friends got further in or not, it'd be impossible to tell, because there's been sand that's been blowing in, but it's not leaving any tracks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and when I look around that corner, then I just see a passageway going north, and does it end in a door?
Yes. That's a door.
And that door is shut right now.
Correct. Yep. The door has on it basically the door can swing open toward you. It does not appear to be locked in any way.
Oh, it swings towards us. Okay.
Well, Roland's going right up to that door, and I think, hopefully, having been told that other door had some kind of trap.
Yeah, Bartle will say, "Be careful with that door. It seems. I think I think that hobgoblin might have been gotten by a trap connected to the door he opened. Whoever built this place seemed to want to keep people out."
Okay, yeah, I think Roland would say, all right, say to Bartle, come and take a look at this before I kill myself opening it.
So I'll look at the door. I'll take a look at the new door to see if I can get any sense if there's any trickiness related to it.
All right. You don't think there's any trickiness at all. The door itself appears to open, but on this particular door, you're looking around and you do see that the mechanism that you were looking for on the other door, there is one here. You see where the mechanism is. So this door will close after you if you don't keep it open.
Okay.
Mm.
So I'll get I'll kind of let you guys know, like, this one is gonna shut after us. I'll get a spike ready to if you can pull it open, I'll get a spike ready to kind of keep it open for us. So
All right, yeah.
Trap further in.
Roland pulls it open, and he, but kind of so that his body is hidden from the other side, like as he's opening it. If that makes sense, like he kind of stays behind. Yeah. As it's opening, he stays behind it and is just peeking around the corner.
Okay.
And I'm like crouching down by the ground, like next to Roland's legs, and so after he does pull it out, I can kind of, spike it so it stays open.
Okay. What is Shishush doing?
I think for right now, while they're doing this operation, I think Sheshush will kind of stand back a little bit just to make sure that the door gets safely secured.
It's like standing around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so what you see here is it's a 40 by 40 room. Each of these squares is 10 feet. So if you're used to playing the more modern D&D versions, which are 5 feet squares, these are 10-foot squares. The highest tier of the pyramid is a single 40-foot square room. The room smells old and musty. The dust on the floor has been disturbed, and no special details can be made out. 3 huge bronze cylinders reach from the floor to the ceiling in the middle of the room. In the center of each cylinder, there's a door. It's like right there. Facing you at floor level is a bronze door. Each door has a bronze handle that can be used to pull open. So there are 3 bronze cylinders, and each cylinder has a door in it.
All right, and otherwise we don't see. I mean, I think once they get the door kind of spiked open, I mean, Sheshush would step up. I mean, there doesn't immediately appear to be any other door exiting the chamber, though. It just looks like solid.
Right. There do not appear to be any other doors other than the ones in the bronze cylinders.
Okay, so I think Roland is walking in with the lantern held up and kind of inspecting, or maybe helping the other 2 to inspect these, like, 3 pillars, or the 3 doors, yeah.
Okay. Bartle, you spike the door, no problem. It's left open. Shishush, something you notice, Bartle, you almost noticed, but you kind of dismissed it, because you were busy. As you spend just a couple minutes in here, your elven ears, I guess, pick up the sound of like gas coming in or something like that from the corners. It's invisible. It's a silent killer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think. I think, if Sheshu's heard anything, kind of unusual, I think, he would alert the others and say that there's something wafting in, and I think he would cautiously return to that door that is spiked open.
Yes, Roland would quickly follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you
Bartle would also go. Who's not?
you do notice that there's an odd smell, and you feel certain that if the door were closed and it were building up, it might be damaging to you. But with the door open, you don't feel any ill effects. I mean, with both doors open, for sure, there's enough airflow that whatever this is not having any kind of effect.
Yeah, and just so this is the top tier of the ziggurat. You know, we can see that. Okay, that's a roughly 40 by 40-foot room. I'm just trying to see, like, does it seem like beyond this that there would be a whole lot more on this top tier? Just kind of doing some, ballpark estimates of like how big the tier seem to be, or
Yeah, you don't think there's probably a lot more to this than what you're seeing now. This tier is directly below the statues.
mm-hmm.
So that's basically, you feel like this is it. Obviously, there's more stone outside of this, but you're not sure. You didn't see anything that would suggest to you that there's more to the top than this.
Mm-hmm. And also just kind of thinking back to those three statues, if I'm kind of like imagining where these cylinders are, where those statues would be, do I think they would roughly correspond to the statues, or?
No, exactly right. Is exactly it. Okay. The bronze tubes line exactly up with the statues.
Well, I guess we could take our chance with one of those doors. I guess we could figure out which one was. We have what seems to be like some figure of justice with some scales, and then I don't know, the wing. There was the winged one with. Did it have a serpent?
Two snakes.
Two snakes.
And then wand and coins.
Yeah, and then the wheat and the sword.
Correct. The warrior woman with the wheat and the sword.
Wheat sounds good to me, but I'm a little worried about the sword part.
Yeah.
And serpents. It all depends on what manner of snake they are. Yeah, maybe the scales.
Yeah, maybe the scales.
Yeah, as good as any. Okay. Although, yeah, scales.
Okay, so you go over to the door. So what we'll do, it'll be left to right. And I'll just call it scales, snakes, and ladders. Now, scales, snakes, and sword. Or west, center, and east. That's where that goes. You are definitely facing north. The top is north. And so the door is right here.
Okay.
See that? So the door is right here.
I think, it seems like Roland is kind of the guinea pig here. And he has the light. So I think
well, I mean, Bartle will go up to kind of take a look at the door to see again, kind of do the once over. Kind of, I'm gonna my function of looking for traps. Although it looks like in Blueholme everyone can look for traps, but I can remove them. But anyways, I'll look for
okay.
for traps.
Yeah, go ahead and roll d6 if you would.
1.
Ooh.
You find a trap. And you're probably not surprised. Yes, there is a bit of a trap on this door. If you open the door, something is going to come out of the wall to the west of you. There are 4 tiny dots, or 4 tiny holes you found.
Okay.
Something's going to come out of there.
On that western wall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So, does someone have rope? Like maybe we could tie the rope to the handle and pull it open from outside of the room, see what comes out of the wall.
Yeah, I have some rope if we want to try.
Or is that a foolish? I don't know if that's a foolish.
No,
idea.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's a good idea as well.
Yeah, so I guess Roland thinks of that. He thinks of to use the rope.
Okay. You basically do that. You yank the door open, and 4 darts come out. You hear, since there's nobody standing there, you hear kink, 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 and they just sort of fall to the ground. These are probably what we might consider to be darts that you would either throw at a dartboard or that you would shoot out of a dart gun kind of thing. These are not the larger little javelin darts that many wizards will throw because they have nothing else to do.
I will carefully pick up the darts.
Okay. They do not appear to have any substance on them.
Still.
All right, so what you see inside the bronze cylinder is a ladder. It goes up into the statue and then down into a room of some sort. There are also, that's all you see from that. So there's a ladder, goes up into the statue or down into a room.
Oh, it is curious going up into the statue. I wonder what purpose that would serve. Maybe, I don't know. Like, it seems like there are true religions and false religions. Maybe that they had some kind of manipulation or something, or maybe they would do something like this to make it seem as though the god was speaking, but it was just some fancy trick or something that somebody could climb up in the statue and do something.
Yeah, I think Bartle is kind of intrigued by that, so I think he'll kind of look and start to maybe cautiously climb up to see what's up there.
Okay.
Also thinking that we don't know, it probably definitely goes down a lot farther because we're at the top of the pyramid, but as long as we're up here, might as well take a look right at the top.
Yeah, it doesn't go down that far, but yes, you can more easily get to the top. What you see in the statue is a tube, the mouth tube, and you get the impression that you can speak through the mouth tube if you wanted to. There are also levers in here that would allow you to, it doesn't mention it, but I assume there's a little bit of a seat here. You could standing on the ladder would be, you fell and the congregation heard you go, that might be ridiculous. So there's a bit of a seat here as well, but there are levers you can manipulate, and you think probably would move parts of the statue.
Yeah. It seems, yeah.
So, Stishus, you are right.
It seems like, yeah. So we come here and we're meant to be impressed by these gods. They're just like they're like puppets, Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, if we'll see what becomes of this, but keep this in mind. Maybe we could be the ones to start some new religious following now that we maybe know the secrets of these gods.
Who rules Bartertown? You rule Bartertown. Shoo does.
Well, if Shushush looks down the shaft, I mean, am I able to see?
Yeah, you have good vision. Okay, actually, what you see at the bottom of the ladder is a glowing light. It basically illuminates a 10-foot square. So here, let me unshare for a second. Stop the sharing. There we go. Yes, yes, Discord. It was good.
It worked.
Let me make sure I got my maps right here. Actually, no, let's do this one. This is not the old school picture of a fire puppet. That's what I'm talking about. No, give it away. This is the 5E version of it, but it's fine.
Oh.
Share screen again.
That's what we see at the bottom of the ladder?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They're about a foot long. They look more ominous to the picture than maybe they are, but you see one of those.
What is its like? Is it just kind of chilling and walking around and stuff, or is it looking up at us in anger?
Yeah, it's just basically walking around the statue. This is the room in the bottom, but these are the cylinders that go all the way down. So this is the one that you. This is what currently you are in.
Okay.
But you have not. But no one has descended yet. But yes, you do see one of these creatures walking around the bottom.
I mean, roughly how big is it?
Foot.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a normal looking beetle,
Right.
obviously.
Right.
It's about 20, about like this. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I don't think I've seen anything like it before. I don't think.
Hmm.
You do notice, or Shishush notices that there are 3 glowing spots that give off light on it.
Well, does I we could try to kill it from up here. I mean, I have a well, I'm not much for the missiles, but do either of you have
Yeah,
like
I can take out
arrows?
my crossbow. Kind of
Okay.
I'll kind of wave. I can wave these guys back, or to kind of get out of the way of the fire, and I don't. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I will. They'll kind of wave them back, and then take aim and shoot one of my bolts from it.
Okay.
Shoot a bolt at it.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So let's see, and I have a +1 because of my dexterity. So I got a 18 total.
Ooh.
Oh, that definitely hits.
17 +1.
That definitely hits the creature. Go ahead and roll damage.
And then
The D6. Everything's a D6.
It's a okay. So it's a light crossbow, but it's a D6.
Mm-hmm. What'd you roll?
Oh no. Oh.
He looked a little disappointed, so I
Yeah. I think it was low. I think your mic might be muted or
yeah.
not working or something.
Yeah, we can't hear you at the moment, John.
And I don't see his video anymore.
I see his video now. So. Oh, okay. You kill it. You kill it then.
Oh, he rolled
Oh.
a 6 for damage. Very nice.
Wow.
Bartle the bolt. Well, the fact that it's a living creature. I mean, most living creatures need water to survive. So
Yeah.
yeah, it can't
Yeah.
have just been living here indefinitely without water. So I see John's the frame goes green, which suggests he's trying to talk, but I don't hear.
I can.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
You can hear John?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing him. Wonder if I should.
Let me do this. Let me Can you hear him?
I don't hear him now. Should I try dropping out and dropping back in again?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Robbie?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Let me turn my
nice.
camera back on. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, I was pretty happy about that. I'll go down, kind of take a look around. I'll reload the crossbow though first, and I think especially if Roland has his lantern, so I have my hands free to. So I guess to climb down the ladder, I'll have to kind of sling the crossbow, but I'm gonna have it kind of at the as close to being at the ready as it can, so that when I get down, I can unsling it and just have it out.
Yeah, I think Roland usually has his helmet kind of. Maybe there's like a little strap that he can put it on, so he doesn't wear this like metal helmet all the time. But he pops it on and probably takes out his sword too as he's coming down. And I don't know, is there a rule about I can't like could he hold his shield and his sword and maybe be holding the lantern with the shield hand? Is there some kind of rule?
You could do that. In combat, you'll have to choose between putting the lantern down or putting the shield down.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's. I guess then he still will have his shield on his back, and he just has the lantern out.
Does this bug continue to glow after it's dead?
Yes.
And how much light does it put out? Like, how would it be compared to a lantern?
It would be compared to a more like a torch.
Is there any light coming from any of the other like edges of this chamber below us?
You do see other light and shadow occasionally move. Actually, they appear to be moving around the lights and shadows.
Okay.
And Bartle will definitely notice that as Bartle climbs down a little bit. You notice that there's more light and shadow in the bottom in this room, as if something is moving around the room.
And that the something that's moving is giving off the light, or it's producing the shadow.
You think it would be as if someone's or people with torches were walking around.
Okay.
You don't hear footsteps. You do hear little.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll whisper back up. Sounds like there's more of these things.
How many? Can you tell how many there might be?
You think two. From what you can see, from the way the light moves around, you think two.
Okay. Yeah, I think Roland's just like let's maybe they'll just scamper away when we get to the bottom,
If not, I'll take the one on the right.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just go into initiative just to keep things in order.
Okay.
So who is going to go down first?
I think I was down. I think I was ahead of you, Roland, right?
Yeah.
So in Blueholme, oops, that's the wrong PDF. There we go. In counting down from the highest dex. So
Okay.
I assume that's going to be Bartle regardless.
All right.
Okay.
Dex-based initiative.
Okay. I have a 15 dex.
Okay. And what is your dex, Bartle?
17.
Okay. What's Sheshush?
10.
So the way it works is actually kind of interesting. There are 5 phases to combat, and with each phase, the highest dex is going to go. So they are in order: attacks by surprise or backstabbing thieves, because let's face it, you can never not be pejorative about thieves. Spells and spell-like effects are second. Missiles, including breath weapons, are third. Melee and other actions, like picking up weapons and things like that, and then finally movement.
Mm.
So I'm going to
Okay.
say from this position, it's hard to launch an attack.
Yeah.
You can, so if you want, you can move this round and move down, climb down the ladder. You don't have to get all the way to the floor if you don't want to. So you can basically be halfway into the next room if you want. That way, in theory, unless they're flying beetles, you might be protected from their attacks.
But well, I think he's gonna feel. Bartle's gonna feel that his best bet for attacking is if he's kind of solidly on the ground. So I'm gonna move all the way to the ground.
Okay.
And
Um,
ready my crossbow.
okay, you can easily get down to the ground and move away from the ladder. Roland, you can also make it to the bottom. Actually, everybody can make it to the bottom technically if they want.
Okay, yeah. Roland definitely goes to the bottom.
Okay.
I think Sheishush will move down enough to kind of see what's going on, but straight combat is probably not Sheishush's forte. So
Okay.
I think he'll hang up just a little bit on the ladder to see what is transpiring, and if things go south, he may have a spell that would be useful.
Now, am I allowed to holler to Sheishush? Sheishush?
Sheishush.
Sheishush? I don't. Am I allowed to be like, hey, hold on to this and kind of give him the lantern? Because it's not my turn, right? I'm not really sure how that,
Sure. So
talking things like that work.
that's fine. As part of your movement down, I'm going to say that you can hand the letter off to Sheishush.
Okay, yeah. That's what Roland would do. So he can get once he gets down, he can get his shield out.
Yep.
Okay. So there is enough light. Well, there's 10 feet of light, so you can see them because they're lit, and you can see this small area around yourself anyway because the dead one is still giving off light and heat. All right. So current situation: there are 2 more fire beetles in the room. They look like they're going to be aggressive. We have Bartle on the ground with his crossbow, and we have Roland with his sword and shield, and then we have Sheishush on the ladder with the lantern and surveying what's going on. Sheishush, your eyesight, the lantern messes up your eyesight a little bit, obviously, but you do see that there are clay pots in this room that are covered clay pots. And that looks like what's in this room. You can also see that there are 3 doors leading out. Okay, so next round of initiative. What is everybody's? We'll start with the highest dex. John, what are you going to do this round?
So I'll fire he'll fire his crossbow at the fire beetle on the right.
Okay. Roland, what do you got?
I am going to, go up to the beetle on the left and try to slash it.
Okay, great. And Sheishush, what are you going to do?
I think for right now, Sheishush will just keep that lantern. Will be a kind of elaborate chandelier up here.
Okay. So the beetles are going to try and attack in melee as well. The beetle on the right is going to try and attack Bartle, but Bartle will be able to shoot first. And then the one on the left obviously will attack Roland if it survives Roland's attack.
Okay, sweet.
Let me double check their dexterities. fine. Okay. So, we have no surprise attacks, no spells or spell-like effects going off, and now we get to missiles. And that would be Bartle. Bartle, go ahead and take your shot.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
There we go. I do get a +1, so it's a 2. But
You hear a twang. You sort of catch your thumb, and the bolt sort of flips out, and it does hit the beetle, but it doesn't do damage. It just sort of flies off.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Now we're down to melee, and Sam, go ahead and have which roll I'm going to do.
Okay, so I got to roll here. So I get a 19. And do I add something to it? I couldn't really understand. Honestly, I read the rules, but I had a little bit of a hard time understanding the.
There's no bonus to attack with strength,
Okay.
although there really should be. But yes, a 19 is more than what you need.
Okay,
with
perfect.
The arm class. So go ahead.
Oh right,
and
I roll my damage.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a 5.
Okay, you swing your sword. You hear a crunch, a satisfying crunch, and the beetle lets off a little bit of a hiss, and it sort of rolls over. It's not just plain dead; it is dead.
Oh.
What is Bartle's armor class?
Let's see. It is 9.
You're only wearing leather armor.
Yeah. And dexterity doesn't give you an AC bonus here.
Yep. So, what is the bonus from your armor? I think you might be at an 8.
I don't know. I don't think you get a bonus for dexterity here.
All right. So, what kind of armor are you wearing?
It's leather. So just I think I'm at 9. Right?
You're at 7 actually.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. You have AC of 7.
Nice.
The beetle does hit you.
Yeah.
It takes a bite, and it does 3 damage.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a painful bite.
Yeah, I still have a hit point left.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
That's the way it goes.
All right.
Oh, it is 7. Okay.
Oh. Now, so I can kind of speak at any time, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, so I think Roland is like, get away from that thing, Bartle. He's also looking, at Bartle's wound, but he's looking in sadness at his sword, which is probably covered in this beetle gunk.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of beetle gunk associated with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and this round, what do you want to do, Bartle? The creature is within melee range of you.
So I will drop my. I guess it's close. He's gonna try to, I guess, drop his crossbow and get his sword out to attack it.
Okay, sounds good.
As he's kind of backing up, realizing that this is that last bite took a, really was nasty.
There are 2 other ladders in the room as well, by the way. So if you wanted to, after your attack, run over to one of the ladders and go up, you can do that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Roland, what are you doing?
I'm running up to help Bartle out, and I'm gonna try to slash this beetle.
Okay. and Sheshush, what did you?
Well, I think with seeing that blow to Bartle, I think Sheshush will shimmy down the ladder and kind of be getting his dagger at the ready.
Okay. All right. So there's no surprise attacks. Aha! There's no spells, no missiles this round. So for melee, Bartle, go first.
Okay. Another one. That's pretty bad. I'm gonna rotate this die out.
You show your dagger to the fire beetle, which appears unimpressed by your display. Roland, it's your go.
All right. I got a 7. Oh.
That's okay.
Okay, yep, you come up and you swing at it, and misses. And did Sheshush want to make an attack?
Yes, Sheshush will try to attack. I rolled a 1.
Oh my god. Oh no.
It happens.
Bartle.
That's okay.
All right, so the fire beetle looks like it's going to go at Bartle. It does Roland, however, it appears to be more of a threat.
Okay.
And I roll a 3. And
Okay.
it's attack. Okay. Top of the back around to the round. What? Oh, movement actually. Did Bartle want to move back?
Yeah, he'll move back out up.
Okay. Did you want to take your crossbow with you?
Yes, yeah. Kind of pick it up off the ground and drag it.
Okay.
Not being nice to it, but that's okay.
Okay. So Bartle, our situation is Bartle's on the ladder. Roland and Sheshush are on the floor. With one final fire beetle. Let's see. What does Bartle want to do this round? You can reload this round if you want. Your crossbow.
Yeah, he'll reload.
Okay.
Get it ready.
Roland, what do you want to do?
I want to try to kind of crush this thing's brain with my shield.
Sheshush, what do you want to do?
I feel like the fighting is not necessarily my style, but it's only one beetle left, so I'm gonna just take another plunge with my dagger.
Okay.
And I think actually Roland is like, get behind me, Sheshu, or something. But
Okay.
yeah.
So, Bartle, you are reloading.
Okay.
So Roland, when we get to the melee portion of the
Okay.
your go.
6.
You swing at it and you sort of push it back a little bit, but nothing. You don't do any damage to it.
Okay.
Sheshush, your go.
18.
Ooh.
That's a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Is it a D6 for the?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A 5.
Oh yes.
So there's this big spout of insect ichor that sort of gets your eye a little bit. It's not dead, but
Oh no.
it is badly wounded, and it is going to attack the person who just attacked it. And it rolls a 1, so
It probably got some of that ichor in its own eye, and
Yeah.
all right. So current situation, we have Bartle on the ladder. We have Roland and Sheshush on the ground. Your crossbow is reloaded now. What would you like to do, Bartle?
I'll be to the extent that I can take a. Can I shoot it off? Kind of brace myself on the ladder and still.
Yeah, there's no reason you can't do that.
Although they're in melee.
Yeah, there are no for this system. There's no rules for that. So
Okay. Okay. I will. I will then fire at the beetle.
actually, hold on a second. There are rules for that.
Oh.
I mistook. Alright, so what it says is it is not advisable to fire missiles at characters engaged in melee combat, since the attack is likely to hit strike friend or foe. So I should determine the actual recipient randomly from everyone engaged.
So yeah, I won't be doing that. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep my crossbow ready, but I won't be firing it.
Okay, sounds good. Roland, what are you doing? Same thing?
It doesn't seem to matter for damage, so I guess I'm just gonna try to step on its head this time with my boot.
Yeah, let me double check that.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for.
It has subdual damage. I see.
Yeah.
If you're trying to deal
says-
non-lethal damage.
It's interesting because it says that I would be declaring it, so I think it's an option for me. So I think I still. Yeah, I don't know. Well, Roland is, maybe he's using his sword. Maybe that's the smart thing to do.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
So, like, for instance, if you had a heavy crossbow, I would let you roll 2d6 for that. Like big weapons, those are like 2d6. I'm gonna let like the heavy weapons will probably do 2d6. So like two-handed swords and things like that, heavy crossbows, but everything else for now will do a d6.
Cool.
So Bartle is going to go ahead and attack with his sword, and what is Sheshush?
Yeah, Sheshush will try to go at it again with the dagger. It worked one time.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get lucky again.
Roland, it is your go.
All right. Let's see here. I got a 12.
Okay, you get a good spike, but it just right off the armor of the shell.
Oh.
Sheshush?
Tough carapace.
I got a 19 on that one.
Oh.
You don't need to roll for that because I had 1 hit point left.
And I rolled a 1, so.
Perfect. So, what you see in this room as you're looking around, and I'll reshare the room in just. There are spare parts that look like machinery that was similar to what Bartle saw up in the statue. There are large clay pots as well. There's also a small foundry here for fixing broken parts. There's a forge, an anvil, tongs, hammers, and things like that.
And then there are 3 doors that are heading off.
Go ahead and reshare that. door. In the west wall, there are two doors. One in northwest and southwest, and then there's a door to the east.
I think Roland's gonna go and look into some of these clay pots. You know, maybe there's some water or gold.
Could use more water right now.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
muted.
I think you're muted. Yeah.
You're muted, Sean.
Yes, I am. So you go look at the clay pot, and inside, for the moment, just by the lantern light,
Yeah.
you can see the shimmering liquid, and just for a moment, you're like, oh, water.
Right.
But on closer inspection, mostly by smell, you realize that it's some sort of oil.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Now, this oil could be used to power your lantern. It's the same kind of oil.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What could I fill? I don't know if I. Well, maybe, Roland's a little ingenuitive, so it seems like we might be down here for a while. So maybe he has his helmet on these little leather strap. So I think he might fill the helmet with some of this oil to kind of carry it along with us.
Okay.
How many of these casks are there?
There are. It doesn't specifically say, but it can make up to 6 flasks of oil.
Okay. So what is a helmet in terms of flasks, would you say? If Roland was to fill up his helmet with some of this oil.
Probably one is
Okay.
get in there without sloshing it everywhere.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so you've been down here. It's been about a half hour since you entered the step pyramid. What did you want to do?
Well, I guess one thing. The beetles continue to glow though after they're dead.
Correct. Yep.
Like we don't know how long that glow would last, but they certainly could be used for illumination if we wanted additional.
What's your what is? Oh, actually, no, I can look that up myself. Okay, Sheshush thinks that the beetles will probably last about, or the glow will probably last about 2 or 3 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so you technically have 9 of these glowing beetle parts.
Okay.
I mean, could I don't know. Could maybe grab one of them and stick them in my. I guess I could stick them in my backpack or something.
Sure, absolutely.
If I have some. Actually, they're kind of big, right? Like
well,
2 feet.
the glowing parts are not.
Okay, so I can kind of remove those and. Okay.
Yeah. It's basically something you would hold in your hand. I don't have anything in front of me. But it's like a baseball. It's called baseball size.
Okay.
Yeah, you could easily put that in your pack.
All right. Yeah, I'll probably pop as many as I can into my backpack, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
And the ladders end here, correct? It's not like they're continuing down. This is the end of the descent.
This is the end. This is the bottom of them. Yeah.
Right, and there's these 3 doors. Okay.
I would make a 3 doors down reference, but I don't know. I don't know what get that.
So I can look for traps, right? So I guess I guess Roland goes to that door on the east side of the room and just is looking for traps.
Okay.
I
And
guess
roll a d6.
And I get a 3.
Roland does not find anything. The door appears to be easily openable or actionable. You can open the door if you want to, but you don't see anything.
We'll look too to see though if it's another one of these like doors that'll kind of swing shut after us though.
Okay, so you know what you're looking for, so you'll spot whether or not it's doing that on a 1 to 3.
Okay. I got a 6.
You're not sure, but you don't see anything, so you're not sure.
Better safe than sorry. I'll get a spike out just in case.
And is the southern wall, is that I'm just looking at the image of the map, and the southern wall looks like it may be different than the others, or is it just the way the map is showing up?
It's the way the map is showing up.
Okay.
Give me a second. It's just a little. It may look a little thicker down there, but it's basically just like everything else.
Okay.
That's just wall right there.
Okay, well, I guess Roland's gonna pop this door open. There's no traps on it, seemingly, so.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll go up ready to spike it.
And maybe, so we can see a little further down, maybe he takes one of these little beetle sack things and throws it down the hall.
Yeah. Good idea.
Okay.
Player skill.
Yeah, player skill.
Yep. There you go. Okay. Naturalized section. But you do so in this part of the hallway, where it really should be showing up better than it is. In this part of the hallway, you do see 2 more doors in this hallway. The hallway itself runs east about 40 feet.
Okay.
And there's a door in the north wall and a door in the south wall.
And then at 40 feet, does it end, or is it continuing on?
It T junctions at that point.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess.
Yeah, I'll take a look at Roland and kind of shrug, and I'll start to creep along down towards the junction.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay. As you're creeping along, go ahead and give me a move silently if you would.
Sure. A failure. 94, and I needed a 20.
You've got the good form as for your, but maybe the wound is making it harder to be silent. And okay. As you're walking down the hall, let's see. You hear coming around the corner armored footfalls.
Oh.
Hmm. From which direction?
Looks like from the north.
Okay. So
And
I'll
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll kind of put my hand up and stop walking and maybe creep backwards a little.
Now, I threw that little bug sack thing, so I guess that's just sitting there, kind of as evidence of our presence as well. So, yeah, I guess Roland is stopping too and kind of getting the sword back out.
Okay. So who is closest to the hallway?
I think I would still be.
Okay.
And I'll be getting my and I still have my crossbow out. I'm kind of backing away, so I'm.
Oh yeah, maybe Roland would get in front of Bartle because Bartle's pretty close to being dead.
I am.
There is around the corner comes a woman dressed in bright green robes. She's wearing a bird mask. In her hand, she has a pouch, and she looks at Bartle. She doesn't appear to be startled by your appearance. Looks at you, hands you the pouch. You take it.
I'm a little stunned by all this, but I think he would probably take it. Yeah.
Okay. She smiles. She sort of bows, and then she just walks and disappears south heading south. And you hear her.
And was that definitely? Those are the feet I was hearing before too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She the dress. She was wearing a dress, but she also had a sword on her, and like armor on her legs and feet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the armor was bronze.
Okay. So I'll look back at Roland, and I'm gonna kind of shrug again and say, you know, she didn't seem to mind us here. She seems to know her way around the place. But I think there was something strange about her.
Well,
Yeah, I
and
think.
she
Oh,
gave
go
she
ahead.
gave you a pouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roland's like, maybe we should follow her after we see what's in that pouch.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look in the pouch.
There is a powder. Some kind of powder.
Huh.
It smells of lavender.
Ooh. Kind of lovely.
Maybe it's like a bath salt or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'll say, well, I this is kind of beyond my sense, but I'll kind of go back and see if she knows anything about this. Kind of say like, this is yeah, I can't tell what exactly this is.
Well, I mean, certainly, I mean, it could be magical. I mean, there are magical powders that people can create. Um, Bizarre though, right? You know, in this place, this kind of abandoned city, to have somebody passing out powders.
yeah.
It does seem strange.
If I had time,
Yeah,
I
no,
could study the powder, but I at this stage, I don't really, I don't know that I can offer much of a good opinion on what this is.
yeah. So Bartle will shrug again. He'll kind of attach the pouch then to his like belt,
Mark down that
and
you have
then
a pouch of mysterious powder.
so. But I agree with Roland. Maybe if we follow her, uh, I mean, if we follow her, she must have wherever wherever she's been, or wherever she's going, she must have access to water.
Yeah, I think Roland is, before her steps, like, before she's completely gone and we can't hear her steps anymore, I think Roland's going to start trying to kind of follow her.
Yeah, I'll follow along.
Maybe even, yeah, I was going to say maybe he calls out, wait
Yeah.
for us. Yeah, I think he does. Just, he's like,
Yeah.
wait for us. Once he's kind of out of this stunned state of seeing this weird.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. So you stop streaming for a second. You see around the corner, once you get to the Chi Junction, you see that it goes north and south, and the north hallway just seems to mysteriously end. The south, the one to the south, goes down about 70 feet, and there are some doors down there. And at the end of this particular hallway is a statue.
Hmm.
You could take a look at the statue.
And the woman is nowhere in sight.
Oh.
Hmm. So this hall, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Did you say it ended and that's just the dead end and with the statue?
Right.
And there's doors.
Right.
And there's doors.
Right.
Okay.
So as you're walking down, actually, here I'll show you.
Sweet.
So this is the statue. I've got the statue in there, but here are the two doors in the hallway. I have
Okay.
this hallway that's about 70 feet, and then there's a statue. The woman is nowhere to be found.
Hmm. Yeah, I can't imagine that there's a statue there without it being on the map. So, no. No. Yeah. What does the statue look like? Does it look? I mean, my mind goes to it looks like the woman for some reason, but I mean, who knows?
At the end of the corridor, you see a glittering statue. The statue appears to be a smaller version of the bearded man wielding a lightning bolt you saw on top of the pyramid.
Oh, okay.
It appears to be golden in color.
Oh.
Well. So it has the balance and then the lightning bolt.
Correct.
Yeah, I think Roland's like, yeah, once we get a bit of water, we can, maybe try to figure out how to get
that out of there.
Take some of this gold out of here.
I'm gonna examine the statue to see just if there's any kind of like I don't know, to see if one to see how easy it would be to move, and then if there's anything kind of hidden or tricky about it.
Okay. You put your hands on the statue, and you move it around a little bit, and there you can tell that it's actually painted gold. The statue
bummer.
itself is wooden. And it's attached to a stone base.
Okay.
The stone, it's heavy, so it's not going to go anywhere. You do hear a bit of a scuffle. And as you were all standing there, as Bart was examining the statue, you hear a bit of a scuffle, and the door, this door here, opens up, and the woman leaves in disgust. She walks out of it, and you hear male voices saying in a language you don't understand. So, you don't understand what they're trying to say, but they're clearly angry.
Okay.
And so the woman walks off in a huff. The door is open. There are several men inside, and I think that is where we're going to go ahead and leave it for tonight.
Okay.
Sounds good.
When she walks off, is she walking back north, or is she?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's walking north. So the current situation is the door room is open. There are several men inside, 5 men, in fact, inside. There is a woman in a green dress, a bird mask, walking north away. And the woman is not looking at you, but the 5 men, after they see her off, they turn their attention to the 3 of you.
Well, 5 men. That's a lot of men if they get mad.
That is where we will leave things for tonight.
All right.
Sounds good.
I hope that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. It's cool.
I had fun.
Good. Yeah, I think the rules worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah.
I may take a look at the damage rules a little bit and just use the optional, variable damage for weapons and things like that. But I will query what everyone thinks during the week for that. But yeah, that was a lot of fun so far.
Cool.
Any questions? Any thoughts?
The one question I had was what strength does in this.
If you're a fighter, strength gives you a bonus to your experience.
Okay. All right. Oh.
Let me double check.
Because I was trying to figure out. I've honestly never played D&D in my life, or any games like this, or from. So I just was it's a little bit whoa to me, in terms of how the game works.
Right. In this is a very old, or this is based on. So there's the original D&D, and then Ron does a good job of in his series of telling you the various splits and directions. But this is Holmes trying to clean up original D&D, and of course this is an OSR version of the Holmes rules.
Okay.
And so everything is pretty basic, no pun intended. But strength doesn't do anything for you.
Holy shit! That's funny. That is funny.
And you're right to think so, because in most other versions of D&D, the strength would give you a bonus to hit,
right,
or a bonus to damage, and it's sort of different in each from version to version. It kind of varies exactly what strength has to be, and whether only fighters get it or not. But this is a little different. So this is
as an example, in the very next version of basic D&D, or original D&D, whatever you call it, the Volve edition, strength gives you bonuses to hit.
Right.
Penalties to hit your weak. But it gives you bonuses to hit and damage, and for opening doors.
Okay. That is funny.
Not here.
Yeah, but It does help though in terms of leveling up though, right? I mean, you're gonna get
Yeah.
that bonus. And I do have a question then. Like, okay, so we killed some fire beetles and things like that. So in terms of the experience, how did you want to do that? Did you want to, like, before the next session, calculate, or play another session and then we calculate where the experience?
I think it's probably a good idea that I always like to give out experience at the end anyway. So let me go ahead and
and I do have a question about the combat system, where I'm looking at where it talks about initiative, and it says in every round of combat the participants act in the following order of 5 phases, and then it goes through the phases. But
right.
like, okay, are you only allowed, I mean, can you act in each one of those phases? Like if somebody wants to shoot a spell and then shoot a missile, and right, or are you only allowed to act in one of the phases?
Yeah, I don't know that it's specifically clear. I will have to go back and see if you get one action or whatever. The way I'm doing it is whatever your primary action is. I'm going to cast a spell. I'm going to make an attack. You get to do that thing in the appropriate phase, but everybody can move in the movement phase.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't think it really specifies. I will double check that though.
It says effects or actions that take a certain number of rounds, such as spell effects or potions, and just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way it's written, it's not entirely clear to me, because there's part of me that would say, well, you act in one of those 5 phases, but like the way it's written, it seems like maybe you're allowed to do multiple. Right, you can do an act in one phase and then a different action in a different phase, possibly.
It does sound like that.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting way to look at it, because I don't know that it specifies that you get only one action in each round. Although logically, you would.
Mm-hmm.
It is like, I'm just reading the parry rule. It might shed a little light on this, because it says the parrying character loses all attacks that round. So it doesn't say the parrying character cannot attack. You know what I mean? And I feel like if there was just one attack, it would be written loses their attack, if that makes sense.
It does.
So it does seem written.
I will dig through this a little deeper to make sure or see if I can find where it specifies. Just bringing oil.
Yeah.
And it may be also, I didn't make it through. They do have at the end of this, they have 2 combat examples. So curious to maybe look more carefully at those and see if it clarifies anything.
So everybody gets so there were 3 beetles, and I'm going to give you the normal beetle, and from Blueholme, the normal beetle experience, which is 13. So there were 3 beetles, so that's 39 experience for beetles, divided by 3. Basically everybody gets their own beetle experience. So that would be 13, and I'm going to give, because you guys I felt like you guys did very good with regards to not rushing in, but still pushing forward to explore things like that. We give everybody another 100. So everybody has 113 experience.
All right.
And this is
We'll
also
do-
then where your experience point bonus comes into play, because you would get to add a little bit more on top of that with your.
Right. Oh, I have to look at that.
So 5% of 113 is like 5.5. So round up to 6. So maybe an extra 6 experience.
All right.
So that'd be 119.
Sweet.
Does everybody get that?
I get a 10%, I think, with 15 intelligence.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, I
In
might
that
get a
case-
10% then too. Let me check.
So 10% would give you 124.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I get
Yeah.
a 10%.
Okay, so everybody's up to 124 experience.
Amazing.
Hooray. Mainly because you haven't run into any of the pool treasure yet.
I'm just expecting a big experience bonus when we find the water. All right, that.
Yeah, water. Yeah. Is there
You
any
are.
kind of thing for us dying of thirst, or like would that just be?
I'm kind of keeping track of that unofficially.
Okay.
So,
All right.
basically, when you go to rest, the next time you rest,
Mm-hmm.
if you rest in a safe place, Bartle or whoever's damaged can recover some hit points.
Mm-hmm.
If you have access to water, you'll recover hit points. If
Okay.
you don't have access to water, you will not.
Now,
Okay,
I do have 2 flasks of holy water. That'd be very expensive water to drink, but I think in a pinch we could uncork those flasks of holy water.
Yeah. It might not taste great because it's probably perfumed or.
It might be blasphemous to drink.
It might be blasphemous. But yeah, okay. So everybody's got 124 experience, and we are at the point where next time you will engage with some more NPCs and find